Hey everybody, you are watching Now You Know's movie show, and we're actually going to be reviewing Ozark, which is not a movie. It's a Netflix TV show. Would you call it a TV show?
It's
Do we even put the word TV in there anymore?
It's so antiquated. People don't... I don't watch this on TV.
I watch it on your watch.
Yeah,
it's a computer show or a phone show.
It's projected right into my brain.
Yeah.
It's a 10-part, 10-episode season 1 series, and there might be another season.
Oh, there definitely will be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So without spoiling anything, we just want to let you know, if you haven't seen it yet and you're intrigued, you're like, what is this Ozark of which they speak? Ozark. It is starring... oh, we grew a mustache.
The brooding Jason Bateman with a mustache.
Nice work there, Bobby.
Good handle, Mark. I had to add the curls.
And Jason Bateman actually directed a bunch of the episodes, which is quite interesting. So Jason Bateman, Laura Linney plays his wife, and then there's a whole host of great actors in the rest of the cast. And this is I guess I would call it Sopranos meets Breaking Bad meets
Gilmore Girls.
No.
I need some southern.
I think Pretty Little Liars. Yeah, definitely.
Actually, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but I'm wrong about the Gilmore Girls thing.
I don't know. They had that new Netflix season. It took a weird twist.
Yeah. So if you like Breaking Bad, and if you like Sopranos, I think you will like this. And the reason for that is this is a very dark universe, right? I mean, this is things have gone horribly wrong, and yet there's a family that it's part of, right? So
you're caught in the middle,
which is why it's like those two other shows, because those are there's families being affected by this going wrong, and there's a head of household, kind of the Bryan Cranston, James Gandolfini character, Jason Bateman in this case,
the Michael Bluth,
right? Maybe I guess it's not really.
I mean,
Arrested Development.
I mean, things could have gone way worse, I guess, if they went down a darker road of Arrested Development.
That's true. If they weren't trying to be a comedy in Arrested Development, maybe it would have just been
the whole light treason thing ended up panning out a lot worse, with the whole Iraq thing.
Spoiler alert for Arrested Development, by the way.
You can't really.
I bet you didn't expect that.
Yeah.
So, would you first of all, would you recommend this to someone, and what kind of friend of yours would like this show?
Who wants to take this one, Bobby? You want to go?
I can start off.
Okay.
I would recommend the show. I would recommend watching it and forming your own opinion. Because there are a lot of
interesting.
We'll get to the opinions, but there are a lot of Netflix originals that are out there, and I'd say this is one of the better produced ones. And I think that, like Zach said, if you like Breaking Bad and that stuff is up your alley, I think that you'll probably be open to enjoying this one. So I would recommend it, but if you got other things on your list, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like watch now. So that's kind of my take on it.
My recommend is with a caveat to see how season 2 starts out, because I have some issues. We'll get into it later. But for me, it really depends on how things start off in season 2, because I have a lot of questions and I'm concerned. I'm both excited and concerned.
But how about just the season in itself? If you never went on to see season 2, does it stand by itself, or you can't recommend it?
To watch the last episode, that is fine. Pretty much.
Yeah, I might have to a soft no then if it's based on this season alone, because I have a lot of questions at the end of this season that I need answers to. So, which means I'm definitely watching season 2. Don't get me wrong. If you watch this, you're watching season 2.
I'm confused by whether
I'm definitely, but it's just if things don't pan out a certain way, I'm going to be a little frustrated, because there's a few things I have questions about that. If they pan out a certain way, like okay, I'm on board now. But if they don't pan out that way, I'm like,
I can't wait to get into the full review.
Okay.
Would you recommend this to what kind of person would you recommend it to?
I would definitely recommend it to someone who likes Breaking Bad, and I think any of those kind of if you're into Breaking Bad or Narcos and kind of drug themed shows, then I recommend. I want to throw a caveat in there. I haven't seen Narcos. My friends watch it, so I just assume that it would be something like that. But couldn't bring myself to watch season 3, but good show. Yeah, so if you like that kind of the drug themed, I think this is a good one, and it takes a different twist than or a different alley or path than a lot of the drug shows, because it's not really about the drugs itself. It's about the money behind the drugs and cleaning it up after. Which is interesting.
All right, well, let's get to numbers here.
Okay.
We rate things on a 5 scale.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you guys rate this show? Just so we can put the... Well, actually...
we'll put our average right
this
now.
This is the average.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wait, this is a tease.
Wait,
this is tease.
we don't have a third camera, so we have to put it somewhere else.
Put it in between Zach and Nick's head.
Here it is. Here it is. It's very heavy. That is our average, so you can see if that intrigues you to watch it. I would definitely recommend that if you're in the universe of Sopranos, Breaking Bad, then you'll love it. If you like Jason Bateman or Laura Linney, you'll love it. You have to kind of like Jason Bateman because it's like those other shows in that the lead character is dark, and so it's not like he's trying to save the world, he's trying to save himself. So if you don't like him, it's hard to watch him for 10 episodes.
Right.
But if you like Jason Bateman, and also it's really well directed, a lot of great acting, so I would recommend it, which is reflected in this number. Alright, spoiler alert, we're now going to get deep into the show, so if you haven't watched the show, shut this off, come back later. Alright, let's talk about some aspects of the show that you like and some that you don't like. So let's just start with Brent here. Brent has a problem if the season 2 doesn't go the way he wants it. So, refresh your memory, the season 1 ends almost undoubtedly opening it up for a second season, right? And how
of course. So basically, one of the final scenes of the show is we have Jason Bateman, Del, who's kind of like the I don't know what he's like.
Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, he's like like a lieutenant for one of the Mexican cartels, and then you have the family there in the Ozarks, who's kind of running the drug situation in the Ozarks.
Girl and the Poppies.
Yes, I don't remember their names, so sorry. Yeah, they kind of square off what the situation's going to be as far as like the whole money and drugs thing happening in the Ozarks. They come up with the idea of the Riverboat Casino or whatever. That's how they're going to launder their money and all that.
Perfect idea.
Yeah, pretty good idea. I'll give them that. It's like, I would have not thought of that. That's pretty good. I like this. And then so it ends in Del kind of like offhandedly is like, all right, something about these rednecks or whatever. Next thing you know, his head's blown off. And I was like, what just happened? Holy crap. So at first I was like just shocked because, someone's head just literally blew off. So I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? But then kind of the way they played off like, oh, the cartels, it doesn't matter. The cartels, all they care about is the money. I'm like, really? But also, do you really think the cartels are only going to care about the money? If that's the case, they'll just come down, kill you, and take over the operation. So, if the next season doesn't start with just like a war between the cartel and this family, then I don't know. I mean, the cartel cannot just play ball with them.
I'm excited because it means that
that's what I want to happen.
Jason Bateman's going to have to,
and he's going to be in the middle of it.
Yeah, he's in the middle of it.
If that happens, then yes, on board. I'm excited. If it's the cartel's like, oh sure, that's fine, we'll play with you, then I'm like, no.
Yeah, they're definitely sending in a new.
They're better. Yeah, but the cartel better be coming after them for that.
I hope they do. That would make it a lot more interesting.
I love this universe that they plopped us down in the middle of.
Yeah,
they plopped us down in the Ozarks, and it's got a very rich community of crazy people. It's got the pastor.
It's definitely one of the stronger points of the show.
Yeah, I mean, you got a pastor who is, dealing drugs out on the water, but he doesn't know it until he does know it. You've got what's basically Jason Bateman's lieutenant's name? Ruth is like this awesome character because she's got so much complexity. She got her father in prison, and so she's like. Sounds like now she's split with her father, and she was trying to prove to her father through most of the season that she was worthy. Yeah. But now she's kind of sided with Jason, but she tried to kill Jason, but Jason doesn't know that. Right. But maybe now he does know that in the last episode.
But when we say Jason, we mean Jason Bateman's character, Marty.
That's
by the
true,
way.
Marty. I should call him Marty.
Jason and Marty, I can't remember all the characters' names, so I'm going to call on them by
name. Might get a new name anyway soon.
Laura Linney, I don't know. What's Laura Linney's
name? Well, does Marty
no
know that Ruth tried to kill him? I mean,
I don't think so.
Because the two brothers, her two uncles, end up dead in the boat.
Yeah,
that was not intended. That was intentional because she was protecting Marty.
Right.
But does Marty know that she did that? He must know.
I mean, the pieces are there for him to put together. I just don't know if he's put it together yet.
But does he know that earlier she tried to kill him that way?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
He could, because I do remember him thinking it was weird when they were when he was getting off the boat and she was looking at him. He was like, What?
Yeah, but he's so focused on...
Yeah, and also, I guess that would be a small thing. Like, it's big for us because we know that was her trying to kill him, but for him it would just be like, well, that was awkward. Okay.
I think there's a very important scene in this series where he brings her to the bank, has her deposit money, and then he's now like, okay, you're tied with me. Like, if I ever go down, you're going down. Right. And I think in his mind, he's like, you work for me now.
Right.
And I think she's been very loyal, except for where she tries to kill him.
Now, I forget, how did that plan get foiled again? How did she not end up killing him?
Oh, the FBI agent.
The FBI agent.
Oh, he shut off the...
Yeah, let's talk about the FBI agent. So here's another character with a deep... So he's very conflicted. His mother got addicted to drugs, and he was responsible for it, right? Because he was like, Mom, just take some pain pills. Yeah. And then she gets addicted to drugs, and we see scenes where he has to go, like, get her out of her drug den.
Yeah.
And so he hates drug dealers, I guess, is what his motivation is, right? And he's trying to convince the FBI to go after this drug dealer, and they're like, he's not a terrorist, so we don't care.
Yeah.
So he's like... one-man FBI show. He's got an ex-boyfriend who wants to help him, but he doesn't want his help anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
He then gets involved with Ruth's uncle.
Yeah.
Falls in love, but is he in love, or is he just doing that to do his job?
I think he's using him.
I think it's both.
It didn't seem like he actually cared about him.
Nah, there were some points where, like, especially when he, well, at one point after he died, he was just sitting on the dock drinking beers, being all sad. Like, that's not something you do when you use someone and they die. That's something you do when... And also, like, giving him the second chance to try and get Ruth again, right? Like, the other FBI agent was like, hey, man, you're thinking with the wrong brain there.
He was pretty bad. That uncle was pretty bad at getting information out of Ruth.
Yeah.
That was, like, the worst. Like tell me everything you did.
Yeah. he would be a horrible spy.
Yeah.
But the acting, I thought those actors, the FBI agent, the uncle, fantastic. I also love... her uncle's brother. There's a scene where they're on a boat. They're collecting trash at the end of the season. That's how they make some of their money. And the brother kind of knows that he's trying to tell him something. He's trying to give him an out. Like, whatever you want to tell me, I'm okay with, right? Yeah. But you're down in the Ozarks. There's no way he's going to come out and say that he's out of the closet.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's living with this horrible thing on his chest that he just can't get off his chest. Like, I felt that. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
I enjoyed his character quite a bit. All the stuff with kind of like Ruth's family was a strong point of the show for me.
Yeah,
I love that scene where Marty goes into the public restroom and they've stolen his money and he's trying to get it back, and he just goes in there with no plan whatsoever.
Yeah,
walks in and just bullshits his way, like, okay, yeah, kill me, great, okay, then you're all dead.
Yeah.
Oh, spend that money, sure, you spend it, you're dead.
Yeah.
And walks out with the money.
He's really smart. He's a very smart character. But at the same time, is really stupid. Because he's gotten himself into this mess.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love that. The overall, the mess universe that he's in, he's stuck in that universe. He made one bad decision on a flashback that they show us where basically he decided, hey, let's do this. Let's
Well, I mean, let's be real. That wasn't. I don't think that was really a decision. He had he didn't really have a choice there. I felt like no matter what,
he had a choice.
No matter what, Dell was gonna get him to be.
No, I don't think so. I think that he wooed him, and if he had walked away, he could have walked away.
And he wanted it too. I mean, come on. Like, he did not need to be convinced. He's like, listen, like, he's telling his wife, like, hey, I won't do this if you don't want to do it. I'm going to tell you how awesome I am and how great and how easy it would be to get away with it and how it wouldn't be a problem. And it's immediately a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Immediately a problem.
Yeah.
But it was interesting how we went about 6 or 7 episodes before we get that flashback scene, so now we understand that she's in on it. Like, I thought up until then that she was completely in the dark. She's not in the dark. She knows that now her husband works for the mob.
Yeah.
And then all that self-righteousness that she acted was kind of like, now you see back where Marty is. Because those first few episodes, you're like, Marty's a real asshole to her. But then you're kind of like, I kind of feel like you were swayed over to his side, like, well, you did it too. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know if I was really swayed. I mean, they're definitely both culpable for sure, and like, she's not innocent in the situation either. I just feel like, I mean, he kind of brought her in the beginning, but then shut her out as soon as something went wrong. And maybe if they were working together the whole time, then maybe, I don't know. Rather than being this like martyr, like, oh, I'm going to take this all on myself and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like this is a metaphor for what we all do in life. We all, obviously we don't all work for drug dealers, but at some point in our life we make a decision to go to do something like work for a big law firm or work for whatever, and you've made this big choice. And now your whole life has gone down that street. And that's your life. You're on that street. You can't get off that street. In his case, yes, he'd be killed.
Yeah.
But for a lot of us, not that we'd be killed, it's just that we don't think we could get off that street. We're a lawyer now, or we're a doctor, and that is our street. And you may not be totally happy with that choice, but you just have to make the best of it. And that's kind of what he's really good at. He just makes the best of whatever he's on. Talk about talking himself out. So there's the scene where Del is killing people. About to kill his partner.
Which one?
With the first one. With the trucking. So early on with the trucking company, that now it turns out that his partner had been siphoning off money.
They've been skimming.
And they're all pointing to each other, and they're all saying we didn't do it. And then Del starts killing people, and basically it's come down to now Marty's about to be killed. Right, got a gun in the face, and Marty just pulls out this flyer about the Ozarks that he was given earlier, and it just starts making up bullshit about how he can launder money. That's all off the top of his head, all to save his life. And now the whole rest of the show goes to the Ozarks because of that flyer. And it's just, I just love that premise of just like, okay, you bullshitted your way in, let's see what you got. I love the scene where he's getting his cash out of the bank. He's contacted his bankers, he's like, I gotta cash out, and they're like, you can't just take your cash out. And he shows up with every piece of luggage, and then the FBI's there with like a sign like, are they kidnapping you? Like, and he's just like, dude, I'm walking out of here with my cash, or else I'm gonna do a run on the bank. Like, I'm just gonna let everyone know that you aren't giving your cash. Like, he gets to walk out with his cash. He's showing that there's games going on all throughout our society. It's not just the drug dealers, it's the bankers, it's the businesses, like, it's just, and the cop. Let's remember the cop down there in the Ozarks who isn't going to do his job, basically, because it's too much work. Like, and they're just like, so they're running into all the different facets of society, and I just found it so cool that, like, they're not in the right. Obviously, they're working for the mob. And yet, they are on their high horse when they're talking to the cop, and they're just like, why won't you go arrest these people? And he's like, oh, we got to go find them. We got to, that's a lot of work. Like, I love this universe that they set up. I hope that season 2 is going to continue. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to continue at this pace. But you guys, I think there were some episodes you were complaining about. I think it hits hard in the first episode, and then it kind of lingers for a while. What do you guys feel?
It gets slow in the middle for sure for me. There's a lot of kind of like plotting stuff and stuff where you don't really know where it's going yet. So you're kind of like, okay, here's this scene, here's this scene. The episode that kind of was weird for me was the flashback episode.
Oh, interesting.
Because I feel like it does a lot to make a lot of things make more sense, but then in one way it makes something make less sense to me, and that's the first episode and the first confrontation with Del. Because when Marty first goes into business with Del, the first thing that happens is Del has his former money guy murdered in front of him.
With his eyes cut out.
Yeah, eyeballs cut out. Pretty hard to forget that one. And so in the first scene when Marty's kind of very brazenly like, oh, you're just, talking out your butt, Del. You're not going to do anything here. This is just a big ruse that you're trying to shake us down. If I were Marty, I would not come into that conversation quite so...
He takes that tone with Del throughout the series, though. I don't
think it's very smart of him to do it.
No, I don't.
He's very lucky that he isn't dead at this point.
But I think he's very analytical about his decisions. They always come back to money, and he's always like, why would you do that? That's not the best decision for money. So I think he thinks
it does help that Marty didn't know his partner and those other people were doing something on kind of behind Del's back or whatever, but I still, if it were me, I would not push those buttons, because I've seen what happens when you cross Del, and that's your eyes get pulled out of your head.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of knew that things were, that someone was going to die, and I think he felt like he could somehow get himself out of it, like that he was valuable. Which he did. He did. And I want to point out, if you're in the mob or in the drug business and you want to get rid of bodies, I thought it was a good idea. You have a vat full of acid, but not well implemented, right? Because some of the things survived from the acid, right? Didn't they?
Right.
They tipped over or fell off the truck or something.
What you should do is just buy a mortuary or whatever, and use the incinerator. Cremator.
Yeah, we're giving you great ideas here.
And then, like, you can just wait. Like, the phone will ring, and you'll just like, oh, it'll go away if we just put it in the fire. I thought that was so funny, the timing on that. They were like putting the body in the cremator, and then it's just like, oh, the phone's going off. what do we do there? Okay, just push it in.
I love the character of, so they buy the house from the guy who's dying, and he lives downstairs.
Yes, we haven't talked about him yet.
I love, again, this is another part of this universe that they created that was just like, whoa, I never would have thought of that idea.
He's a great character.
And then he fits in somehow later on to the plot, which is kind of cool.
He's kind of their, like, silent protector.
And I also want to go back to the family. During this whole thing, there's some family problems that are going on that would have happened probably to any family. The daughter has got a boyfriend and she has sex, and the son is having some problems with, he saw a documentary on birds and he wants to figure that out. Like, and so there's all these things that they have to go through while they're going through this horrible drug thing and laundering money, and yet they're still having to be parents on top of it, which I thought was, for me, was just interesting to watch how they're going to deal with, like, their young daughter and deal with the fact that they can't spend time on that. They have to go take care of business.
I have to say, one of my favorite lines from the show was, like, so in the very end, or not the very end, but, like, towards the end when Marty, hits his last call with his wife and is like, no, I don't want to talk to kids, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, she's going to drive off, and then the daughter, and they're talking, and the daughter's like, I've done things you wouldn't believe. And I was like, that's not what you say to your mom. That's not a good idea. You're digging yourself your own grave there. Come on. But I thought it was very interesting when she brought up, like, I think the next thing she said, like, you made us adults when you told us what your dad did, or what dad does. Then that was a powerful thing, preceded by a not-so-smart thing to say.
Yeah, they're really bad parents, in my opinion. They don't take care of their kids, and...
But they're adults. They're not kids anymore.
Their kids are going to be messed up by this experience. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to either believe this situation or not. Like, you can't keep going back to, why did you do that, Marty? It's like, he did this thing, and now you've got to follow him down the rabbit hole.
I guess that's what takes me out of the show a little bit, because with Breaking Bad, I guess it was a little bit more paced, the way it kind of went into it.
That's true.
And this
there's more of a progression, I guess, whereas the show, you just
drops
fall right in.
Yeah.
You don't get to see the progression of, like, what led them to making that decision.
I feel like Breaking Bad could do that because it was the first of its kind, and now that this genre has been created, and let's admit it, it's now a genre that never existed before.
Sure.
Once you create that genre, I don't think you get the luxury of that exploration anymore, because everyone's like, oh, Breaking Bad.
We already know the origin story,
Right.
And so you kind of have to... I mean, and I really dug it that in the first episode you got things like boyfriends falling off balconies.
Yeah.
Just like...
The first episode was really strong, and the last two were really strong.
It's an attention-grabbing first episode. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, we even get, her ex-boyfriend's son coming to see her and try and figure out what's, you must have known something about my father. Like, it keeps the tension. There's just tension all the time. And I enjoyed that. Just the writing and the direction was fantastic to me. Lovely scenes. I mean, there's a scene where they're overlooking the water. It's a drone shot that just backs up and shows them looking down at the water. There's scenes where Marty is looking down like, maybe I should just kill myself. But then it wasn't that he was thinking of killing himself. He was thinking of the fishing, and like he's always thinking of some new thing. It's just,
or there's a priest baptizing a baby, but you think that he's actually going to drown it.
I thought for sure he was going to drown the baby.
They definitely didn't play it like he was going to baptize it, because he's like throwing the little baby carrier, and then he's like,
he's a little cuckoo.
I don't think
he could have gone either way.
Yeah,
I think he really could have. He's like, is there a God? Like,
I honestly, with his face, he looked like a murderer more than a priest. Like, I don't think priests usually go.
I also like his character too, though.
Yeah, and the way he got into being a pastor.
Yeah,
I thought his wife was very funny when she was like, he just had bad aim. It wasn't God. Come on, man. Let's not deal heroin. Or no, actually, she was saying deal heroin and save the baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I mean, the baby's safe.
Yeah. And we don't know if we'll see the pastor in the second season or not, or whether he's just gone. I feel like he's just gone, but maybe they'll bring him back. Who knows? All right, it's time for our individual ratings of the show, and we do this on a scale of 1 to 5, but it's not just stars. We do whatever we feel like. So let's start with Nick.
Okay. I'm going to go with 3.5 out of 5. Are we allowed to do 0.5s? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. 3.5 out of 5 electrified duck.
Nice.
You got it.
All right, Brent.
I am going to go. I think I'm also going to go 3.5 Bobcats out of 5. Like I said,
female Bobcats.
Yes, I liked a lot of stuff about the show. I have a lot of questions that could adjust my rating if season 2 doesn't play out in certain ways, but who knows? Maybe I'll be very surprised and I'll take it in different directions that I'll also enjoy. But I definitely have a lot of questions that I feel like need answers, which keeps me from rating it higher.
Okay.
So,
Bobby?
All right, I'm surprised you guys rated it so high. I'm going to go for a 3 out of 5. Poor little mice, because Ruth killed a little mouse.
Oh, yeah.
To test the electrical system, so I got to give that mouse some kind of like decent like memory, you know. So I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 because I'm totally in the middle with the show. It's like I really like couldn't stop watching it, but at the same time, it's like there are so many better things I've seen on Netflix.
If you can't stop watching it, I feel like that means you enjoy it.
I didn't. I was kind of frustrated.
Or you had nothing else to do. You know.
I was kind of frustrated while I was like, this is not like making me want to watch it.
Well, that I want. Yeah, so I'm going to give it 4.5 glasses of lemonade. And you know what happens?
Ooh,
lemonade's coming, so be careful. Because yes, it's not a it's like Breaking Bad or Sopranos. It's an uncomfortable, dark world that we live in, and we don't like the choices that these characters have made, and so we're not used to, as Americans, watching this kind of character. That's usually a good character who's out there every week saving somebody, and this week they're not saving someone. So, but I like that we got to examine this world and safely behind our TV screens got to see what would happen if that took place. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the movie show. Please put your comments below of what you think is going to happen in season 2, whether you think I don't know, the mob is going to come down and just kill Marty and that'll be the end.
Or Dell's coming back to life.
Twist.
Highly doubt that.
his head just like
But what's going to happen with the blue inn? She walked off with the money at the end. Is she going to show again, or is she gone?
Yeah,
is the pastor gone?
Where did her son go? Didn't she have a kid?
Wait,
wasn't that kid who like hung around the bar that was friends with Marty? Wasn't that her son?
No.
Was it not?
Yeah, I don't think she had a kid. I don't remember having a kid.
No, he was just an employee of the...
I thought... Oh,
not her son.
I was wondering where he was when she left, and I was like, well, you're just going to leave him?
But he's probably there giving things to people. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
So
he was giving guns to Marty's kid.
He's very important.
Dude. What a nice dude.
Without him, there'd be no gun for Marty's son. So.
Yeah, without the old guy, the other drug dealer, or the other cartel member would be dead already because he was going to shoot him, but then there was no bullets.
Right, and the old guy is still alive, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, he might still be in season 2.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah. I think he'll definitely be in season 2.
Yeah, so there's a lot of unanswered questions.
He's definitely going to die in season 2, though.
Maybe.
I think so. Either that, or they're gonna start season 2 with like his like cemetery, like his grave.
I don't think he was big enough for them to like have the first scene be and like, oh, the funeral, we're so sad.
Probably not.
Maybe if Marty died. But
I feel like Charlotte's gonna want to be like, I want to go to boarding school. Just get me out of here.
Yeah. Or Charlotte.
Yeah. And their son might become a botanist or something.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see more Poster Envy posters this season.
That's right. I do want to point out that the whole reason I watched the show was because my other company, Poster Envy, has a poster in one of the scenes, and I had to watch until I think it was episode 7 or 8.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
It was the classroom scene.
Pretty blurry.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's it."
And it was not that poster.
Imagine if they had a poster for the movie inside, or the TV show in the TV show. How meta that would be.
But who knows? Maybe season 2 will have more posters in there. So yeah,
we'll see.
We'll let you guys know.
Hey, comment below if you figure out which poster it was.
Ooh.
You get bonus points for that.
Bonus.
Watch the whole show 3 times.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Now you know. Thanks so much for watching Now You Know. We work hard to bring you videos about things that we think you'll find useful, but we need to know from you what you want to see, so leave your comments below. Also, don't forget to go over to our Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a month, you can watch our Patreon bonus story every week on Tesla Time News. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.